Hello, how are you? This is Tim. It's my first time doing a video in a long time. So bear with me. But I want to do this for people from my platforms, primarily Patreon, my Patreon listeners. That's my phone listening in on our conversation. So what I usually do is I usually pick literature, primary sources, and I read them. I think what I'm going to do is each month take one text and just read from it and give little short lessons on it. And I try to pick things that are relevant to our time, things that you can use to go out there and make better decisions and be more thoughtful. I came across this. This is a paper I always get, AM New York Metro. And I came across this article, and it's about a small business owner. So it's Queens Card Store among many suffering mom and pop businesses. I'm just going to read from it by Todd Mazel. Shuttered businesses through the city face the prospects of surviving COVID-19 through forced closures and having to pay rent, insurance, and mortgages without income. So many businesses face demise, and some have already closed, such as the famous Coogan's Bar in Washington Heights. The owner says COVID-19 was the last straw. Yet many merchants want to survive and eagerly await assistance from the government. Many seeking payroll protection program loans and small business administration loans and grants to help pay employees rent, or their vendors. Not everyone is closed, and in some cases the business has been reduced to a trickle, some taking to websites to make a living, or restaurants who are doing takeout orders. Valerie Warnian and her husband Alan have owned EJ Cards and Gifts for 40 years on Myrtle Avenue in Ridgewood, Queens, and they are closed. The Warnians filed a petition to be an essential business, offering masks, hand sanitizer, bandanas, but they were denied. Valerie knows the problems of reopening, but also realizes that without income, she can't pay rent or any of her vendors. She still have Easter merchandise on her shelves and St. Patrick's Day products that are collecting dust. She yearns to open her most important day of the spring, being Mother's Day, where she sells cards, where her business needs to make sales or else. So they worry that the proposed opening of May 15th is a big problem with few solutions. I don't want this to put us out of business, but because of a virus, sighed Valerie, who is also a board member of the Myrtle Avenue Business Improvement District. My father-in-law opened this store. He passed away at age 75, and now my husband and I run the store, and I'm willing to go back to work and do whatever social distancing is needed to be open. They've not only missed the last two holidays, but are now losing graduations because schools were closed. Remember that. Communions, and her husband is immune compromised, so he would remain in isolation. But she says she's willing to go back in, keep to one customer at a time, do pickups and deliveries, but she's not allowed. Her landlord is somewhat understanding, so she sent a partial payment of her rent, $10,000 a month rent, to show goodwill. She is less concerned for herself than losing the business she loves, though she has lost friends and distant relatives to the virus. May 15th is the worst day they could do because we will miss Mother's Day. I'm willing to work by myself. Most customers pay by credit card, she said, and I let one or two in at a time. I do balloon deliveries. We applied for an SBA loan, but that fizzled out, and we even applied for an unemployment. I just don't know what else to do, but I guess I'm grateful to be alive. And she's probably not going to come back. You can't be in a store, and I'm gonna show you the store itself. That's the store. You can't be in a store that size by yourself. She's gonna have to hire somebody. It's gonna have to be at least one other person to manage letting people in at the time, to manage lines, keeping people 6 feet apart. She's gonna have to do that. Also, that's not going to be safe. Because when we go back and all these businesses close and there's no jobs, store owners are going to have one or two choices. Hire the local people who would be riffraff, or you might consider riffraff. Hire them, bring them in to do the small task, and you may have to just pay them cash. You may not be able to put them on the payroll. Whatever you got to do, you bring them in. Or those people are going to be robbing you. Because America is not a place where people go without while stuff is accumulating beside them. We're not going to sit and starve to death. And I'll tell you a story and I'll let it go. An elder just told me that now in New York City, because they don't have plastic bags, you have to bring your own totes. He said he saw a man come in with his own totes and walk out with 2 bags of totes and didn't pay for nothing. And if we don't get a UBI, that's going to be normal life. And she can't go back to business by herself like that. And a lot of businesses may not be worth it. So we're moving into an economy where we're going to be doing more things like this, using our digital platforms and maybe delivering. Maybe we'll be doing home businesses a lot more. And I'm looking into doing something like that. So I just wanted to bring you that article. And I think the first book for May is going to be The Making of America, because I think we need to know what's at the root of the society, why it got so screwed up, so that we can change it. Until next time, please, I thank you for your support, and I say take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe.